but we went to a place called the Viridian Springs. Is that it? And we went into a
Lurid
vault.
Pines, isn't it?
We were at the
Lurid Pines. Lurid Pines. Sorry, I've completely got the name wrong. Lurid Pines. We went to Lurid Pines, which is like a vault that we broke into, and we were stealing some biomancy gear when 3 angry cannibalistic hamsters and there's pet zombies came after us. And Hamish McRainbow bravely, fought them off, killing one of them. But his companions were scared and ran away, and so Hamish ran off to ensure that they were protected.
Hamish was brave enough to lead us in that strategic withdrawal.
Exactly. So yes.
He was both quick enough and smart enough to show us the path out, as long as we could follow at speed.
Yes, exactly.
I think there is the story that Hamish is telling at the milk bar of what had happened.
Yeah, over the last week. And then we returned. We spent big, knowing that we have a load of loot to get from the Lurid Pines if we can get back there and secure it. So we bought Gatling guns for our big auto wagons. We bought auto wagons. We bought all kinds of mad stuff. And APOC is doing some sort of experiment as well, from what I remember.
He's trying to create portable biomancy gear.
That's it, yes. But now our plan is to go back to Lurid Pines and possibly detach one of these Gatling guns, drag it up to the top of the hill into the mouth of the cave, and basically gun down these hamsters that think they're so tough. And get our rightful, what belongs to us, basically.
So a couple more details. The cannibal hamsters, the way that Horst described them, appear to be affected by some sort of condition like Azure D is, like they were kind of roided out and so on.
They don't like sunlight.
We found the sessile photosynthesizing rodents, which are basically hamster ferns. They do live birth, and they're tameable and quite friendly, and I like them.
Yes,
APOC and I made friends with them.
You kind of want to domesticate one, don't you?
Well, I did.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons you want to go back, isn't it? NIDA wants to go back, is to investigate the fern some more, I imagine. Tamish wants the treasure. APOC definitely wanted the biomancy gear.
Yeah,
and
I just wanted to check out the plant hamsters, the hamster plants.
I would also like to remind Abe that there is a tunnel leading to what might be an autofac.
With heat blasts coming down it.
And with heat blasts coming out of it, and some kind of enhanced prairie dogs guarding the place. And there was also staircase.
Those were the metal prairie dogs, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't worked out how to get down that tunnel.
And there was the staircase that went further down to
where the cannibal hamsters came up from, right?
And where that gross blue corpse-like swollen, drowned thing.
But there was also beautiful music and sophisticated rats.
Yes,
yes.
Not all sound like people.
There is a third group of rats we have not directly encountered yet. But I propose that we make our way there. I think we're taking an auto wagon, an auto, the full-on thing.
You guys got we got 2 new bone auto wagons. Is that since last, in the last episode?
Yeah, the last one we did a lot of shopping and a lot of gearing up.
Cool. And then, so wait, Johnny Seven's consciousness is still in the satrap thing, right?
Yes.
Cool. And then you have that, right?
Yes.
NIDA?
Yes.
All right, cool. I was thinking about out of character, I was thinking about perhaps I'm going to blame Johnny Seven for everything and try to snuff him. In character. Revenge for killing Saffron.
Could be. That sounds reasonable.
Yep, the kite's still floating around. So
I'm still holding onto the kite. Yep, one hand on the kite, one hand on the gun, or crossbow.
So the auto wagons, one of them is a bone auto wagon.
I thought both of them were.
No, the other one, I didn't really specify, but in my mind, it was a Redlander, like dwarven build. So if you look at the character keeper and the caravan tab, I put, obviously the cast don't look anything like that. Maybe I can, for fans of the show, I can share the screen. Last time it worked brilliantly.
Wait, so is it the caravan tab with Vigo in the column?
Exactly. If you scroll way down, it should be on the screen now. So
the two crazy buses.
Yes, the crazy buses. The left one would be the Redlander, like the general shape at least.
Right.
And then the right, and the right one would be made from bones. So this one would be bony, like very square, but very bony. And the left one is a little bit roundish.
So the one on the left is the 8-hit dice auto wagon that has 12 capacity. And then the one on the right is the 10-hit dice auto wagon that has 24 capacity.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Because so we picked up 2 of the 24 capacity auto wagons, then we have the 12 capacity auto wagon that we took from the Redlanders, plus the solid cage.
Can I just suggest, rather than continue to call our smaller vehicle an auto wagon, can we just call it a truck? And then that way we're never referring to which auto wagon are we talking about. We can always be referring to a big one. So we kitted out our truck as well, right? With shitloads.
I mean, the truck has a Gatling gun and turret and ammo.
I imagine we're taking the truck and the Gatling gun equipped auto wagon as well. Like we're driving both of them there effectively. Cool. So we have
2 Gatling guns,
2 Gatling guns, and like a wagon filled with capacity as well.
Right. And then there was also talk about hiring people.
Yes, we want some henches.
All right. So what I suggest is, I want this to be like a little bit randomized. So why don't you roll a d6 and tell me how many people are interested in joining you?
We're rolling a d6 for this. Are we each rolling a d6, or is one person rolling a d6?
I think I think it's 1d6. So I would assume that most of the great folk, they are like craftsmen. I don't see them, joining random visitors on a quest to fight zombie and cannibal hamsters.
Ooh, there is a person I charmed last time. There is other people here.
Yes, there are visitors, exactly. There's Fiona, I think. Fina de Mesa. I mean, she is a tradesperson, tradeswoman. Maybe she will join. How useful will she be?
Let me ask a question. What is good pay for someone signing on for combat, like basically to be a fighter?
That is a good question. So let me look at an example, which is on the high, the low road and the high. You met Beauregard, who is someone who can be.
So it might just be because I haven't really played games where you can send henchmen to do stuff. But in my head, hiring people would maybe be, we can clear those crates with that. We can leave them to do the crates while we go and explore the rest of it, or someone to bring the Gatling guns up while we're setting like we're the player characters, right? So, but they're like, on the guns waiting for us to draw them into the killing fields kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
at least, because they don't have to be combat people necessarily to just
Oh, okay. Yeah.
be, you know, like
Oh, in my case, I'm definitely wanting combat people.
yeah. I'm just saying that like that's my worst case scenario would be
We've got porters.
we got porters effectively, yeah, who can stand with a machine gun and maybe press the trigger, you know, but not like are willing to go toe to toe necessarily.
So a level 3 henchman would ask for 60 cash a week.
Okay. So if we were, let's 2 seconds here, because we are doing this. All right. So what if we offered to double that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even a full week's work? Would we be able to alter the die that we roll to get
Yeah.
hedges?
Mm-hmm. That sounds reasonable. Like more people who would otherwise think this is too dangerous would maybe sign up.
Yeah, like crap, that money's too good to pass up.
Yeah,
And it's like it's normally it's 60 for a week. It's like a day and a half there, maybe a day's work, day and a half back, and they're offering double.
Mm-hmm.
So
What would sound more interesting to you, like a bigger die size or 2d6 take the better result?
ooh.
I like advantage. I think
D100.
D100.
I mean,
Die size, I think like D10 or something.
yeah, and here's my thing. I'd like to get at least half a dozen to a dozen people
Uh-huh.
who are varying degrees of combat capable and willing to haul crates.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what would we need to do? Because I mean, it's just the three of us. So I want to basically go in there with like at least
a
our
small,
number.
a small gang
in
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 Blades in the Dark
PBTA
terms.
terms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
Roll a 6, I guess.
So are you thinking, Will, Abe, are you thinking 2d6 and take the better result? Or are you thinking like maybe d10 or d12?
I mean, Will,
You go for it. I'm with advantage just because it gives us a better chance of having a reasonable number. You know what I mean? Like a higher base level.
I was gonna say I don't have a what do you call it? I don't have a preference, so feel free to do whatever.
Okay. Will, you're saying roll with advantage. Let's do it with advantage.
Yeah, just
Do
because
you want to do the roller, or do you want me to do it, or do you want
you
Abe
go
to
for
do
it, Bucket. Yeah, you go for it. Then.
It's great.
Your luck is better, I'm sure.
Yeah,
You're
remember
better
you
at
said,
rolling dice.
remember you said that, please. All right. Let's see how we're doing with. Do we want to mess around with roll for your party this week or nah?
Yeah, let's do roll for your party until it stops working.
Is it still centrally internal EFT?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a tab in the character keeper with it on as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm going to clear the dice.
Mm-hmm.
2d6.
Ooh,
6.
Nice range.
Well done. All right, so let's see who you got. So first of all, the guard will sign up, which is Aima. She has a crossbow, 3 HD, and a scale mail.
Do we need to take notes on this, or are you keeping track of this for us?
I'm keeping track.
Okay.
Then there's 2. Let's make them 3. 3 of the great folks. Eyetooth 10, Eyetooth Twed, which is spelled TWED, just so that you don't get the wrong ideas. And let's get another name. An Eyetooth is the lowest rank in this community. Great folk, Eyetooth, Ven. and they are all HD1, and they have spears and muskets and boiled leather. And then there's a yellow lander signing up, Katyusha. She has spike leather and a scavenger bolter. And then there's a rather pompous Greenlander called Umberto Azul, who has a scimitar and also boiled leather. And he brags that he's the best.
So we've got 3 great folk, Yellow Lander, Greenlander, and the guard from the town.
Yeah, the guard is also a great folk, and she's called Rip Aima, and Rip is like a higher rank.
Aina is the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say we put the lowest hit dice guys on like carrying and lifting and carrying.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, don't they all have 1 hit die?
yes, yeah.
Well, Katyusha has 2 hit die, and
Aina has 3.
And Katyusha's the Yellow Lander?
Yes.
But we definitely send the guy who thinks he's the best up front. That's clearly what we do. So Umberto Azul is going to be our point man. And what do you say? The great folks carry a Gatling gun up to the top, perhaps. Like at the entrance, perhaps. Like we send Umberto up front to scout it out, and then we secure the entrance. They set the Gatling gun up, and then we push forward. And if we get into trouble, we can run back and lure them into this blast, into the killing field. Does that sound good as a tactic, guys? What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
The only thing that I would say is I almost feel like we should like lure those hamsters out.
But they don't want to come out. Remember last time they came out into the sunlight and they didn't
they don't want to come to the sunlight, but we can at least get them to the entrance of the vault and do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what I'm. That is pretty much what I'm suggesting. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking about it's like the last thing I want is those crates getting damaged by Gatling gun fire.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I was just thinking more that we probably want to put to get the Gatling guns into a good enough position, we might have to overcome some sort of challenge in the first place.
Sure.
So wherever they're going to go is going to be useful to us when the hamsters appear, kind of stuff.
So we see the 2 wagons approach the mountain, and which one of the 2? The one with the turret, obviously.
We're taking both of the 8 hit dice truck, which has a turret on it, and the auto wagon that has a truck on it or a turret on it.
Let's see.
Did we ditch that mech from the Porcelain Princes?
We sold it.
Sold it.
Right,
and we actually got experience points for it. So
yeah, we kind of did that because Hamish.
They're hot. It's a hot car. What are you going to do with it?
Well, not only that, but the thing is, we needed to get Hamish to a point where a strong sneeze wouldn't kill him.
Yes.
So,
and so the Redlander, like the big auto wagon, not the truck, is a massive machine, and even the ground is trembling a little bit while the motor howls. But over the sound of the motors, when you approach the mountain, you can hear. I don't know if you've seen The Wire, the second season, when they enter the harbor, then all the what's it called? All the workers start whistling, and it's the same like whistling sound. Somebody whistles from somewhere in the mountain, and it is answered in another height. So they definitely are aware of you approaching. And so you stop in front of the mountain, and what is the plan? let's say it's noon.
I think that we lead a group up the hill with Umberto and Katusha, I think, and we leave Aina and the other great folks to bring one of the Gatling guns up the hill behind us, with Aina kind of supervising, because she's got 3 hit dice, so she can probably cover if we get ambushed or something on the way up the hill. We've got some backup, they've got some backup, they're bringing the heavy gun. We can clear the way, hopefully execute our plan. Who knows what they've done in the week that, because the idea behind leaving it a week was they'll chill out, right? But maybe they won't chill out. So who knows?
The chillest of impressions.
They did not look like chill hamsters, to be fair.
No.
Yeah.
The important question that I have is, are we sure that this is Durin's day, and do we know which rock the thrush is supposed to knock on?
So, you climb the mountain with Umberto and the 3 of you. Is that true?
So
Umberto and Aisha.
yeah.
Or do you send them like first and then you follow?
No. Umberto's the best, so he clearly is leading the way.
Yeah.
And he's our nice what's it called, scapegoat or whatever it is.
Yeah, he wears some kind of fantasy as in not real existing uniform. It could be the uniform of some army or of a brass band or something, and he has this big
Napoleonic style, like with big shoulders and tassels and things. Nice.
And he's walking very erect, and once in a while he looks back at you to make sure that everybody sees how majestic he looks like. And behind him is Katusha with a spiked leather armor and the like this. I wouldn't say ancient, but it's a pretty DIY bolt thrower, and she looks a bit more nervous. And then I don't know in what how far you behind the 3 of you follow. And Umberto stops at the vault door and peeks in, and then he makes like the all is clear sign. And Katusha walks up next to him and points her gun, into the cave.
Come on, lads, get that gun up here, quick, smarter.
Spread out. We don't want one thing taken. We don't want anything taking us all out, or being in a group and getting hit by shrapnel or anything like that.
So I assume that you have removed. I think it is really attached to the car. So you have to remove the turret from the DEF, which is the company who built the car. And yeah, you see the 4 of them carrying, 3 of them carry. I think 2 of them carry the Gatling gun, and 2 carry the heavy ammunition crate.
Yeah. I say we get that set up in here, and then we order them to start gathering all the biomancy gear and loading it up, and then we can push on deeper into the thing until we provoke some sort of response. And then we've got this. We know that like last time we had to run all the way away because we didn't have a safe space here, right? But now we've got a Gatling gun covering our loot, basically.
Shouldn't we have somebody on the gun while people are bringing crates out?
Yeah, no, I did assume that would be Aina or one of the great. We'd leave some capable person up here as well, like with the porters, effectively, because they'll be doing what we were doing like over and over again while we dungeon delve, right? So the question is, who do we bring with us other than Umberto Azul, who is clearly going to go with us everywhere because he's the best.
You can just wear a red shirt and be done with it.
Yes, exactly.
I'm thinking we leave the town guard on the Gatling gun, and we've got the 3 great folk, use them as porters. They can fight if they have to. And we have Katyusha and Umberto with us. And Umberto, well, you know what? I am all about giving people an opportunity to prove their competence. And he certainly seems to be eager to do that. And I'm more than content letting him do it. But I do think that we want to rein him in a bit so that he doesn't run into stuff and start shit before we're ready for it. Like, I don't want him going down those stairs until we've cleared the floor out of the biomancy gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, so you don't want to go down. You want to just wait here while they fill up the trucks, rather than leave them to it while we explore further.
What I'm saying is I want to make sure we've secured that floor while they clear out the biomancy gear, and then go a little bit farther in. I want to try to avoid triggering that heat blast, and clear out the first floor and then start heading downward. If that and make sure that there's no trouble in the meantime, if that makes sense.
I think we're able to push to the stairs and leave. I think my impression of this floor is that this area is secure. We can set it up as secure, and we can move forward until we arrive at a complication. The question, I suppose, will be whether or not you want to. I feel like if we wait up here for us to clear the whole room entirely, so there's no possibility of it, we will be dark before we leave here. And I don't want to. I would like to clear my dungeon delving up before nightfall. If these hamsters are scared of the sunlight, what if there's like 100 of them down there?
Fair. So I take it we're all bringing grenades just in case.
Oh yeah, we bought grenades, didn't we? Shit.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Own splinter grenades.
Yeah.
Yep. By the way, Abe, if you want some grenades, I bought a couple of cases. Hamish only bought 5.
Yeah, man. I'll take some.
All right. I'll restock when you get back to the behemoth. So yeah. I literally have 2 cases of 10 grenades, so just grab some. And just let me know how many. What do you want? 5, 10? Well, actually, 10. Okay. I was going to say 10 is basically carrying a case with you. So.
Yeah, I'll just take 5. I mean, I'm pretty buffed now. Do I get any strength or constitution bonuses for being steroid free?
So that is actually a good question. So just like a very short time out, I was looking back at the video when you rolled on the mutation table, but that it was not on camera, so it was before we started the session, before we recorded the session. But I did write down the numbers, and I double checked, and it seems like you rolled a, let's see, where is it? You rolled a 14, which is the buffing, and then you rolled a 2, and on the table it was a stat increase in, I think, endurance. Let me double check on the magical blah blah table, biomagical corruption, and I think it makes total sense to give you, as a first step at least, a +1 on Constitution.
Awesome. Does that affect my hit points or whatever?
Unfortunately, it does not. But I see when the process will get out of hand at some stage, unless you as a player say, well, now is enough and I go to a doctor. If it takes longer than a couple of hours, you need to see the doctor. There was a Viagra joke, by the way. But if you want it to go on, I see no reason why you wouldn't get like a strength bonus or another constitution bonus. You will look like a Hulk, obviously. But if you're okay with that, then we just see how far we can go.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it to the edge.
Nice. Love it. Okay, timeout is we go back to the situation. You in the front of the cave. Aina is at the Gatling gun. Umberto is obviously in the front. I assume that you all have some kind of light sources. I know that Will has a flashlight and Azure has like a glowing stone or something. And I do also think that Umberto has, his scimitar and then maybe a torch.
I was going to say maybe his scimitar glows slightly as he goes down the corridor. Like,
You think he has like a zombie sensing magic scimitar? I don't think so.
no, yeah.
I think maybe scimitar does reflect the light from your flashlight, for example.
Quick question.
Yes.
With the henches we've hired, does that money come out of our personal accounts or does it come out of caravan money?
I mean, this is an investment, obviously, because you want to get the crates, and
So
they
caravan.
yeah, I would say so. And then like when the tunnel widens into the actual cave, which is relatively it has a low ceiling. You can see and hear the scurrying of the ferns. But you can also see that there are these, and you have seen them before. There are these bloated figures standing between the ferns, and it's about like half a dozen or so, spaced out, and they just stand there and stare. Like half a dozen that you can see. What do you do?
Are they making any threatening moves?
They're moving. Once they see the light, they are moving slowly towards you.
Only one of us has a crossbow, but we could try giving that a go. Like shooting them with the crossbow. It's quiet.
Do we want to see what happens with Umberto? See if they like go for Umberto first?
Umberto, go deal with it. Yeah.
Not saying deal with it, but I mean, we don't necessarily want to engage in combat if we don't have to, right?
Yeah, but I feel as though so what we could try and get Umberto to lure them away. He is the best,
I mean,
like, yeah.
If they're not going to do anything with
I can hear you. What do you want me to do?
Lad, you're the best. Well known for it. Yes. So we need you to do a tactical distraction, a feint, as it were. You get those guys to follow us down that way.
And you point towards
a tunnel that leads off in a different, like a crack in the wall or something. Like like just go away from us basically with lure the zombies down that way. And
I mean, there's a staircase, there's the tunnel leading to the Gatling gun, and there's to the vault door, and then there's the tunnel that leads deeper into the machine, which might be an autofac.
Yeah, so there's no third way that he can lure them off to. Yeah.
I mean, we can tell him to just run in circles, and we see how efficient that is.
Do we want to pull him back toward the entrance and do it that way?
Do you want to just like see if we can get them lured into the killing field? Yeah.
Give the
killing field a test.
Get the heat ray to kill him.
We brought a Gatling gun. Let's just
All right. What's the point of having a Gatling gun if you don't use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but where would you be during that maneuver?
Morally spotting him from the top of the stairs.
Mm-hmm. So you're trying to, avoid the car zombies and hope that they will like completely focus on Umberto.
No, I just want to be able to watch Umberto get ripped apart by them when he doesn't, and then do our own attempt at it. Basically, I think that we are, effectively like able to get out of the way of the field of the fire, but able to stick our heads down and watch this entire affair take place just for the fun of it, And Umberto is going to be doing the bait, being the bait basically. He is to lure all of them up the stairs into the machine gun fire, and we'll be in the popcorn gallery basically.
But
so Umberto's a snack, literally.
Yeah, I understand that, but like you try to hide, to like the zombies would see you at some stage, unless
we'll pull back. He's as he comes towards us, we're like, oh, okay, cool, he's doing it, great, you made it. Like, oh, I owe you $5 as we sprint back towards the killing fields. Whatever, really. It's what I mean. Like the plan is to. They're slow, right? They're very slow. So like,
okay,
we can jog away from them. He's just got to lure them all the way back up the stairs.
So let's do. This is like, unless you actively try to hide behind something, that sounds more like pure luck. Like how many of the zombies will. I mean, obviously Umberto does his best. He's yelling at them and he's he make it the grand gestures. But there's always the chance that the lone zombie will be distracted by equally tasty looking flesh. So why don't you all make?
We could do a dex. We could do a dex check, maybe like to run back, like because as he comes towards us, we're like, oh, and then we start sprinting as well, like to,
Yeah,
so,
that would be. Unless you do something else. So Hamish is trying to avoid them, by dodging them more or less. Neither.
I'm kind of walking backward with my shotgun trained on them. Because it's like I figure I can at least match their pace and still keep a gun on them and keep my eyes on them instead of like trying to dodge.
And I assume you're still in the cave, trying to visualize this, and you're moving back. And
moving back toward the vault door.
Oh, you're moving back towards the vault door. Oh, that is an important information. Because
we're dragging him into the field of fire with the Gatling gun.
Hamish as well?
Yeah. I'm running for the safety of our lines.
I got it. Then you don't have to roll. I think if you're moving, in front of Umberto, then there's no real danger.
Oh yeah. I just want to watch him get killed if he gets killed.
And
this is our great folk hero, wanting to watch people get eaten.
He's the best.
I think I need to revisit our lines and veils, because there is cannibalism is veiled.
Okay, well, but the thing is, I'm not sure that watching zombies eat. Basically the way that I was looking at that veil is if we wind up having to eat people.
Okay. If
a zombie tears somebody apart, well, go nuts.
Okay. My favorite film, so
Cannibal Holocaust. We've talked about this.
It's not my favorite film. It is a good film though, minus the animal cruelty, obviously. Azure, you're also moving out of the cave, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with the rest of the crew.
Cool. So when you move back and Umberto is with big gestures and shouting, moves in front of the zombies, who look, as I said, that they're faintly glowing, like in a bluish light, and they have this. Their bodies are like the skin is really tight over their bodies. They're bloated as if they're pumped up by something inside, some kind of gas. And so when you move out of the cave and figures.
You're roboting really, really hard for me. I don't know if.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Yeah, I see Will nodding.
Yeah, my internet connection lately is really shit. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Right. So just hope for the best. Otherwise, maybe after the fight, before you delve deeper into the dungeon, I can restart my computer. Maybe that helps. All right. So Umberto stands in the mouth of the cave. You are outside of it. The zombies line up pretty nicely. And Umberto jumps to the side. I assume you give some kind of signal.
I believe the signal is open fire.
Mm-hmm. And so Aina, at the Gatling gun, starts the rotating gun. And when it hits the first of the zombies, there's some kind of explosion, an explosion big enough that if you are in the direct vicinity, it would really hurt you. But you're outside of the cave, so that's not so bad. And you can see how these bodies explode, punctuated by the Gatling gun. And there's like this goo running down the cave walls. What do you do?
Can you tell us more about this goo?
Well, it's bluish. Well, it is rotting flesh. It's not that it is some kind of like supernatural substance or something. It seems as if these zombies.
So
There's
the
some
goo is glowing, correct?
Yes, they're slightly glowing. It's not that the goo is, the substance that they are running on. It's more the color of their flesh.
Okay. Who's this? Yeah, I think it might be a good idea to look at this goo and see if we can figure out if it presents any kind of danger to us.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be a wisdom or an intelligence check?
It would be wisdom if you look at the actual goo that you have before you and maybe make some kind of tests, or at least look at the consistency. Does it? I don't know. How does it react to other materials? It would be intelligence if you try to remember if you have ever heard about that kind of thing.
I mean, Asher's the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
And does this? I mean, would Asher's mutations have anything to do with her ability to figure out what this stuff is, or whether it presents a danger, or whether it's a mutagen, or?
I don't think so. So it does not look like this slug, the snail eggs that she ate, which triggered the mutation.
Okay.
So it's just that one. Sorry, there's a garbage truck in the background here. So it's just that one zombie got blown up and he sprayed his guts everywhere.
No, it's all of the 6 or 7 that were in the tunnel.
Yeah,
So we
it's a
just
massacre.
popped them like balloons, basically.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty much popping like balloons. That's true.
Are there more in there that we can see coming or hear coming?
No. Like in the light of your torches and flashlights, these are the 6 or 7 that you have seen.
All right. Well, fuck it. Let's just keep moving.
Yeah, I think this is a good time to wave the porters in and get them to start taking the crates out.
Mm-hmm.
Does that seem reasonable?
It does.
Will, I see you nodding. Abe?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So then,
We let Umberto go first again.
yeah, Umberto seems boldened by the victory, and he's smiling, and shaking hands with Katyusha, who doesn't really want to, and so they all move inside, except Aina, who stays at the Gatling gun, I assume.
Mhm.
And you follow them?
Yep.
Or do you wait outside? Okay. So when you enter the cave, it looks pretty much the way you left it, minus the zombies, obviously. And short after you entered, Eyetooth 10 discovers the first crate, picks it up and carries it out, and then another is discovered. Do you also look for crates, or do you like supervise? You're muted.
I'm not a supervisor. I'm looking for crates to pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see what might be down further. I mean, this is just what's up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All right,
I mean,
and I think maybe a good moment for a cliffhanger is when Eyetooth then you hear like a gurgling sound from him, and there's blood spraying, and you hear the whistling again from deeper inside of the cave.
Ooh,
one of our guys is dead. Is he one of the great people?
yeah.
He's one of the great folk. I make a big Christian cross next to Eyetooth then.
So did we pay them in advance, or are we paying them after the job is done?
That is a very cockflow question. We didn't establish it, so I assume that you said afterwards. Maybe you gave them a taste. I don't know.
It seems like 50-50 would be a fair shake.
Like,
50
Hey.
up
Half
He's got-
up front, half
half
on.
up front, half
Listen, let's just get to his mates. Let's not quibble over such things. This man gave his life for this caravan. Come on.
Hamish says
Yeah,
he
respect.
pockets the money.
Yes, exactly, yes.
Okay, shall we? I don't know. 7 minutes, is that okay?
Should be about right.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
I will definitely restart my computer, so might be a little bit longer.
Sure.
Okay.
Also, maybe clear your cache in your browser.
Actually, if I restart my computer, I have to end the broadcast. I just will.
I only got you that robo. You only went robo once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm fine.
It's not like it's been an ongoing issue. It was just
Yeah, it was just that one little bit.
time.
All right. So I would say at 30.
Cool.
Half
See
past.
ya.
See you there. Hey, gents, I'm back when you are.
Cool. I think. D, do you want my whip, my Neuro whip? Abe. It would be a D8 rather than a D6, but it wouldn't do 3 damage on a crit. It would do stun
What do
instead.
I have? I have a Morning Star. No, I'm good because that's my familial weapon that's been passed down from generation to generation.
Cool.
What does 3x crit mean? If I roll a crit, it does 3 times damage, or I have a 3
Yes,
times
it
better
does.
chance of crit? Okay.
No, it does 3 times of damage. So you roll, your damage and then multiply by 3. I just rolled a saving throw for Ven, so I remove the cross again. Instead, you see one of the cannibals and Eyetooth Ven fighting with each other. There were 2 other whistles that you hear from deeper inside the caves, and that is the scene that you see. I want to assume that 10 and Twet carry 2 of the crates outside of the cave. So at the moment, it's Katyusha, Umberto, and the 3 of you. And you are close by. What do you do? So in attack range.
Who's closest?
Who's closest?
Yep. Who's closest?
I want to say you could all act. So maybe decide amongst yourself who wants to act first.
Well, I've got the have the crossbow at the ready, so I'm probably best. And I've got a big fat dexterity, so I probably would get the first shot off.
Okay, so make it.
I forget.
Yeah. So what you do is you roll under your AV, which is
like 8 or something like 10.
10.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. All right. Oh wait. Weird.
Is it the roll for your party thing again?
Yeah, it gave me doubles. The one in between the 2 dice is a 5, but there's one way over randomly on the right-hand side that's a 17. So I don't know. I mean,
so it is actually a 5. That's what
it says last roll 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 17 is mine. That was the saving throw.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Sorry. I'll change my die color then. All right. Cool. All right. So I hit.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. D10.
And I think there's one weird rule if you shoot into melee. I think if you shoot into melee, there's a certain chance that you hit the other guy. Missile tag. When firing into melee, you must beat the AC of your target by 4. Wow. So the hamsters have an AV of 4. So you need a. What did you roll?
I rolled a 5.
Oh wow!
So I'd have to roll 0.
No, you would have to roll. So the way AC in YTech works is you roll over the AC of the target and under your number. So you would, which is insane. You would have to roll above an 8 and under a 10, which you didn't do. If you beat it by less, you hit someone else in the melee at the referee's discretion.
Can I do a redo? Because I didn't know that, and I probably wouldn't have done that if I knew I had such.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I should have said that. It's like shooting
no,
in.
Fine. I just don't know white hack. That's totally cool. No problem.
perhaps Hamish, you raise your crossbow and Hamish leaps in front, barging you, blundering past you, and runs in to like attack this hamster that's engaging.
Cool.
And yells to shoot down the to Ida to shoot down the Ina to shoot down the tunnel, like where we hear these other noises, like suppressing fire kind of thing. We brought a Gatling gun, right? So let's use it like a Gatling gun.
Right.
Okay, so Hamish, make your roll, make your attack.
Is there a way to increase my chance of hitting, like a move?
Yes, you can charge, I think. So there's fighting offensively. What else is there? There's press. So one way is you could fight aggressively, which gives you a +2 on your AV, but a -2 on your AC.
Okay.
And if you press, then the person you attack gets a penalty on their save, but your attack value is reduced.
Okay. I think I would just do a normal attack. I think judging all of those things up. Because remember, these guys are pretty beefy.
Yes.
And I will roll the right hand d20. And I get a nat 20. Yay.
That is a catastrophic failure.
Yeah. I behead Umberto as well.
Umberto is not even in it.
While my crossbow bolt tears through his heart.
Yeah. Yeah. I chop his head off and then I step back and then the crossbow bolt goes straight into his chest.
Yeah, I think I go PBTA. So I think that the cannibal sees you out of its corner of the eye, and turns Van around and brings him between himself and you, and so you do the damage to Van.
Okay.
So roll the damage.
That's 2d6.
Oh, I need
5.
to roll. It's a
5
5.
points of damage. Yeah. And he has 1 hit dice, right?
Yeah, and 4 HP you just rolled. So
It's 5
yeah,
HP.
it looks really bad. So I mean, you have this gigantic broadsword, and you practically cut Van in half.
Well, I think I yell, "Duck!" And he goes, "What?" And turns around and I just catch him straight across the top of the body, taking off one of his arms and his head. As he stands straight into the blow, effectively. And then that crossbow, as I go, oh shit, that crossbow bolt goes sunk into his chest.
Awesome. And so Nida is doing the suppressing fire into random directions. Is that
Aina, I meant to say. Sorry, the Gatling gun into
where we said Aina. So
where the whistling is coming from.
So maybe it's not clear, but you are all in the cave. Aina is outside of the cave, and the whistling is coming from deeper within.
Okay, so places where we can't see at the moment, effectively.
Yeah, where actually, she can't see anything.
Is it real? Is it? How can we see how far down the hallway goes?
Throw a grenade down there.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You can definitely
mine the loot.
Yeah, you can.
If it's full of ancient tech, I won't throw a grenade. But if it's just the hallway full of grunts, let's blow them all up.
Now they seem to be inside of the cave, so as you remember, there's the cave. The staircase is north, and that is where the whistling come from, and the tunnel with the heat ray is to the east. And you're more or less in the middle, I would say.
All right. Well, seeing as I'm becoming, hyper muscled, I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna start adopting a sort of a roid rage attitude, and I'm just gonna pull the pin and chuck a grenade down the hallway into the cave or whatever.
Deeper into the cave. All right. And in the general direction of the whistling, I would assume.
Yeah.
So let's first see how well you hit where you want to hit, which is just under your AV. So
All
under
right.
10.
Nope, hold on a second. There we go. Reroll selected. 8.
That is perfect. So then I roll for the hamsters to save, and they want to go under a 9, equal under 9. It doesn't work. So and they make the bone. So you hear it's a really weird sound. It's like the breaking of bones, actually, but amplified. And you actually see like small fragments of bone splinters flying through the air. So make it's 3d6, I think, damage.
Uh, 10.
Okay. Yeah, you hear like a grunting noise, like ah. And then it's eerily silent.
Eerily silent.
Well, from where the thing exploded. I think in the next round, neither hasn't acted yet. I think
I have not.
There's still the cannibal hamster who holds half of Van in their hands.
And where's Hamish?
Hamish is next to the corpse and the hamster.
Ah, look at what they did to him. Get him.
I sigh and yell, Hamish, down!
Hamish, knows when to duck, so he goes down.
And I will aim at the hamster with my shotgun and pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is D20 to roll under AV, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me pick a different color.
Well, it's under the AV and over 4, because that is his. Is it 4? Let's see. So the hamsters are level 4. 2. Yes.
Can I take my small verbal action to reduce the hamster's AV and ST?
Yeah, you can. You can do your move. You can do a small verbal action too. Yeah.
Put fear into him. He just sent me like fucking decapitate this guy.
Okay, cool.
I'm that angry. I'll kill my own things to get to him. But I'm thinking minus to him would probably help.
Yeah. What do you shout?
Is
it like incomprehensible?
Yeah, I think it's it's just all the swears after I accidentally kill the guy working for me instead of him. But to the hamster, it looks as though I've just this wild beast who's just ripped apart another thing in front of him and sprayed everything in blood and is yelling in his face. So
it's under 11 and over 3.
Alrighty. Gonna go ahead and roll then. God damn it, that's a 12.
Yeah, and I think there's no chance to hit Hamish because he ducked out of the way. And I think again the hamster is ducking behind the corpse that he's holding, and so the bullets like you shoot into the torso of Van, but the hamster doesn't seem to be affected. Okay, in the next round, let's do it properly. Azure of Ape, can you roll a d6 to see which group acts first, you or the hamsters?
I rolled a 1, so probably them.
Well, I will roll as well and then see if... Yeah, I'm higher. I'm a 5. Okay, so so out of the dark, there is one of the hamsters is moving like really low. I mean, they're child size, so they're not that tall anyways. But they are difficult to see over the ferns, and he is trying to cut. I don't know, cut you, Azure, right, where your knees are. And then there's another one attacking Nida. So let's see what they're doing with Azure first. So again, level 4 means, let's see. AV is 14. And what is your armor class?
Mine is 3.
So under 14 over 3. Let's go. That does hit. The good thing is these sickles, they don't do too much damage. It's 6 minus 2.
Exploding dice.
And last room total is that is 3 damage.
Is it off of my, what is it off, MV or AV?
It's off your HP.
Oh, off my HP. And how much does it do?
3.
Okay. All right. That's sort of manageable. We've got 5 left.
And then the other one is attacking Nida. Pretty similar, actually.
That bastard.
Low over the ground, trying to, cut you where it hurts. And your AC is?
1 second here.
You're 3 too.
Yeah.
Same one. We have armor.
Now, I'm curious. Is there any chance that the sessile ferns I made friends with would do anything to the hamster?
Yeah, we had I think we saw them in the last time, the younger one, and you were seeing them ready to leap between you and the hamsters. But it would, like, you haven't seen the little one since you entered the cave, so
That's
maybe if you would call it. But for now, for this round, I want to say no.
Okay.
I rolled a 2 though, so your armor actually, like, the hamster cuts, but your Dryland Weave holds off the blow.
Cool.
So it's your turn.
So I've got this hamster in melee range, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would I have to spend a turn to grab my staff of fused pistols to smack it? Or can I just grab it over my shoulder and just bludgeon the hamster?
No, I think changing weapons. So let's see. Actions during a round. In a round, you may attack, make an average move, and perform some small action like dropping or readying a weapon. These actions are interchangeable from left to right, but not the other way. So you can, for example, sacrifice your tech to make 2 moves and a small action, but not the other way around. Some actions and abilities require a full round. So I would assume dropping your weapon and getting the other weapon ready would be your action in this round.
Okay. And how close is the hamster? Is this basically point blank range?
Yeah, I think the way we establish it, you can't, like, he's inside of your immediate radius, so you cannot like get him in front of your rifle at the moment.
Okay, but I've got my shotgun at the ready.
That is true, but I would say, I mean, you could. I don't know what the others think, but
I mean, at point blank range, a shotgun is it's bad for the hamster. This is why I'm asking.
yeah, it would be really bad. I'm just thinking that he's too close for you to actually like point your barrel at it.
I can't help it. You know, like a shotgun is for close encounters, as you know, aliens told us. So
Yeah.
I feel like maybe if he uses small action to sort of like bash it back, and then you know, like so no move or whatever, but just like shotgun.
Yeah, I see that. That's cool. So maybe describe how it looks like, how you get outside, like the immediate what's it called? Distance from him. Is it like if you jump back, or do you fall?
Well, how about this? As I am, because you know we established that I'm not going to take any damage from the sickle. What if fictionally we position it like I jump back from the attack, and that gives me the range that I need to actually point the shotgun in the hamster's general direction, which for a shotgun is more than good enough. I mean, that's basically aiming with a shotgun. You point in the general direction, pull the trigger.
Yes, it should do the trick. So let's see if so that would be your attack. So to roll under the AV.
So is there any kind of advantage due to the close range on the shotgun, or no?
I would say the way you described it, like jumping back or falling back, would counter any kind of bonus that you would have.
Okay.
Because you're moving.
All right, just re-roll then. That's a 17, so no dice. No pun intended.
Yeah, probably because you had to move quickly. You know, you just off aim a little bit, and also the hamster is moving like in a almost unnatural speed. What is Hamish doing? Oh, you're muted.
So there are 3 hamsters up here now, aren't there? There's the one I haven't killed yet.
Yes.
And I would like to
I always forget about the your hirelings. There's also Umberto and Katusha that you can order around.
Yeah, Umberto and Katusha. I yell at them to help Ajadi and Nida.
Okay, cool.
Because they're both, you know, just been surprise attacked. And I am going to try and throw this one, like kind of grab him and like tackle him
Yes.
and throw him into the field of fire that Aina can shoot with the Gatling gun. You know, like kind of try and like
Grappling rules are
yeah. I
best.
mean, yeah, always the best thing in any RPG, the grappling rules.
Yeah. Let's see how good they are in Whitec.
My
Because-
one of my party grappled Strahd, so grappled Dracula, and I just had Strahd bite him. Like, okay, well, he bites you and drains your blood because you keep trying to wrestle Dracula.
Yes. Okay, so grapple. Make a regular unarmed attack, but forsake your damage to hold your opponent. The opponent must win a contest against your strength to break free.
Okay. So, I roll a d20, I guess.
Under your strength. Sorry, under your AV.
Well, I miss. We all keep missing. Hamish goes to tackle him, and he ducks out of the way, I suppose.
Yeah, he's a slippery bastard. So you just grab empty air while he's ducking to the side and will try to slit your throat in the next round.
Mhm.
But in this round, both Katyusha and Umberto can make their move. I think Katyusha moves next to Nida. And let's roll her AV, which is 12. So under 12 over 4. That's a fail. And Umberto is aiding Azure, but he's a level 1. But he actually makes it. Wow, with a critical success. Umberto is the best.
I knew you had it, Alberto.
You had it in you. So this is Hamster 3, and it's the one who already has like splinters in his, all of his bodies, bone splinters. So the scimitar is a d6. Wow. Umberto is really good. So he cuts the hamster, who starts bleeding. Okay, next round. Who wants to roll a d6?
Is it worthwhile to give Katyusha and Umberto another turn since they missed that first one?
I mean, it's the way I do it is you are responsible for what the hirelings do. So
Fair. So we forgot it's our bad. Got it.
and then I remembered, and I thought it was maybe worth mentioning.
It is indeed worth mentioning. So
I would like Aina to be, we are all in combat with these things, so she can't shoot, but she is waiting for a shot or covering the end. Any more hamsters show up, she's going to blow them away, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think we see, like, for a fraction of a second, we see Aina like having her Gatling gun ready, moving into the cave, and she can see the lights dancing and moving, but she can't really find purchase.
So, Abe, do you want to roll for see who gets the initiative?
I did it last time, but sure.
Oh, well.
Does somebody else want to take a shot? I rolled a 1 last time. That's when we all got attacked.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
But it's a 2.
Yeah, that's so. I doubled your result.
I got a 6. Nice.
God damn it! These hamsters suck.
These hamsters are really tough. So I think I start with Hamish, because I just described that the hamster's trying to cut his throat. So he moved behind you and drags the scythe over your throat. That is under your AC, I think. So
It isn't AC. I think Hamish gets a hand up, like
yeah,
as it comes up, and it catches off like a bracer on his arm, you know, like it's some of the way.
And then there's the really injured hamster. Let's make because they're not maniacs. Well, they are actually, but just make a check if he doesn't think living is better than dying, which is like a check for their better stat. And he is unfazed and attacks Azure. So he's facing Azure and the surprisingly tough Umberto. So let's do a D6. Which one? 1, 2, 3 is Umberto.
Wait, did I not get a chance to do anything last round? I just got stabbed.
You throw the last round was when you threw the bone thing.
What I threw a grenade, but then we had the hamster rush up on us, and I was going to shoot him with the crossbow, and then I didn't.
Oh, I could maybe I lost track. So just make your attack then.
Can I just? I was just going to say, can I just say that I switched to my Morning Star, and then we can continue on?
Oh yeah, cool, nice. So you used your round to get the Morning Star out.
All right. So tell me when it's my turn.
Yes. So let's see. 1, 2, 3 is so he actually attacks Azure. Let's see. That is a 14, and that is a critical success. Jeez Louise.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. The good thing is that these guys don't do terrible damage, but let's see before I roll what is the critical part of it. And also remember, every battle you can negate one damage roll by either rolling under Constitution or rolling under your saving throw. Which one is better? So just keep in mind. I think it makes sense that to double the damage. So let's see.
Oof.
This is 5 minus 3 is 5 minus 2 is a 3 and double is a 6. So you would get
dead.
So what you could do is you could roll under your Constitution or under your saving throw. Which one is better?
Constitution.
Yeah, but I just tell you the effects. So
okay.
When a character's hit, you subtract the damage from her hit points. If an attack reduces her HP to 0, she's knocked out until she has positive HP again. So are you now at 0 or at your negative?
I would be at -1 because I have 5 hit points.
Okay, if an attack gives you negative HP, she's knocked out and must save or die. So there was this other rule with characters have a special option. Once per battle, when an attack would damage them, they have the option to save. A successful save reduces the damage by D6 points, representing an adrenaline rush that enables the character to shrug off some damage from a single attack. If the save fails, however, the character takes full damage from the attack, and if she has HP left, she's still knocked out for 2 rounds. Yeah, I think it makes sense for you to save this in any case, isn't it? So what is higher, your Constitution or your saving throw? Constitution is
My
way
Constitution
high.
is 14. So roll that up 20 or under.
Yeah, just double check if I don't. Once a battle, when an attack would damage them, you have the option to save. Is it just save? Where did I read the Constitution bit? I read it somewhere, I'm pretty sure. What? Well, oh, here it says, when you would save to reduce damage or to avoid death, you can make a Constitution task roll instead to the same effects. This is usually a better option at lower levels, but at higher levels, the chance to save is greater. So, yeah, it is actually a rule. I'm not dreaming it.
So I roll a d20, try to get under 14.
Equal or under 14.
Wish me luck, fellows. Hey! All right, cool.
So this means you can reduce, you roll a d6, and by that number, your damage is reduced.
I guess 3. Is that correct? Last roll was 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes.
reduced by 3. What does that do for me?
So you would.
Is that 0?
No, you had -1. Didn't you say that?
Yes. Yes, I did. That's
So
right. It was
adding-
6.
So adding 3 would give you. Now you had a 2 HP, and you can still fight.
All right, cool.
That was a close call.
Yeah, right.
And then we have the other. So the one that attacked Hamish, but failed. And then there's the one attacking either Nida or Katyusha. And I do the same thing with the D6. 1, 2, 3 is Katyusha. This is a 1, so let's see. Attack roll. That is a 12 that hits. But just 1 damage. Oh, actually it's 3 -2 is 1. And Katyusha, we don't know how many she has. 4 hit points. Wow. Okay, next round. What do you do?
Abe, do you want to go up first?
So it's our turn now.
Mhm.
So we
Yes.
got the hamster's turn. Okay.
Yeah, you can discuss with each other what do you want to do.
So we have 2 hamsters remaining, correct?
No, there's still 3 hamsters remaining.
Still 3.
Although one hamster, the one that Azure is fighting, is heavily injured.
What do you think? Do we want to take this moment to withdraw back to the vault door and get them in Gatling gun fire? That'll give us a chance to heal up the wounded in the party.
Sure, why not? If you want to withdraw, go for it. Like, depends on how well that goes. Hamish will back up whatever the party does. You know?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm heavily wounded, so I'm happy to back up and take a moment.
So instead of attacking, you use the round to get the fuck out of the cave.
Yeah.
Fall back behind the Gatling gun,
And we're yelling out. I'm sure we're yelling, "Shoot the hamsters!"
Shall we do a fun little mini game? So who's leading the retreat? And this will go. So my idea is we see if the hamsters can keep up with you, because you were like really close to get another attack in, and you're trying to getting away from them. So that would probably be. I don't know, is that strength or constitution? I think makes sense.
and
Not Dex.
Or Dex. I could see Dex as well.
I mean,
I would
my
say
con's higher. I'm happy to roll con, but
well, is perhaps as your D leading the way, given that
I was thinking that
momentum.
Hamish, being the bold folk hero that we know would be leading the opposite of a charge.
I think Hamish is deeper in, because these are the rats that sniff upon,
And it makes sense since Azure D's like the most wounded among us.
Yeah,
that she really wants to get away. So we do the same.
Has cover as well. Has like a hench person to sort of maybe fire off a shot as a retreat, kind of. You know what I mean? Like fall back, kind of bellow out the command, and both of them run away, and we all run towards the Gatling gun.
Now that you're saying it, though, wouldn't the last person be rolling because they are the closest to the hamster?
Well, then I'm the closest to the Gatling gun, and it's reversed. It's reversed. However, it makes sense to have the person with the highest accent gone. Roll.
Okay, so Will, do you want to roll a d6?
Sure.
And add it to what do we think? Or like running away from a target? Is that dexterity, strength, or con? You choose. Yes. Okay. Add the d6 to your current stat. Don't tell me.
Okay. So I shouldn't roll and roll for your party then? Oh.
No. You should roll with your physical dice.
Okay. 1 second.
I mean, I'm not looking at the roll for your party, but I think it's quicker.
Yeah. It would be if it didn't just roll straight off the table. I got another one. Cool. Okay.
And now we're starting the betting. Mm-hmm. Like the last time you went all in.
Yeah.
But you can also be smart. You can, you can make me go too high, and then I have to roll between the two numbers. So what we do is, if you say, for example, 1, then you're betting, you're rolling between 1 and your new dexterity value. Mm-hmm. And then I can raise, and then I would have to describe how they keep up in the next round, and so forth. So okay. What's your starting bid?
2.
Okay, I say 5, and I think that the hamsters, like they make these small jumps almost, where they propel themselves forward, and one of them tries to the one in the front tries to grab your leg.
Okay.
Do you raise?
And so what would I be rolling next? Like when I can't remember what happens when you gave up last time. I rolled a dice and I had to get.
Yeah. So what you could do is you could say you call, which means now I have to roll under the 5 that I said, and if I fail, you get away. Or I roll under my 5 and I succeed, and then he would grab you.
Okay. And you'd be rolling a d20.
I'm rolling a d20 under my new dexterity and over 5.
And over 5. Okay. I call it.
Okay, so let's do it. Now I can tell you I rolled a 1, so they have a 15. Between 15 and 5. And they caught you. So I think what we see is we see Azure probably in the front.
I do not understand this dice mechanic at all. Sorry. Like the 15 and 5? Because I got a 7, so what would I, which I thought was pretty good, but I couldn't see how
it is. I mean, maybe I didn't explain it properly. So what we do is, so I rolled a new dexterity score and you rolled a new dexterity score. And now we bet. And what we bet is that we roll over the number that we say, but under the new dexterity score in this case. So I was betting 5, which means I would roll under my new dexterity score, which is 15, and over 5. And you were betting over 3 and under your new dexterity score.
Should I roll 2d6?
No, you roll 1d6.
Okay, plus my old dexterity score.
Yes. So what is your dexterity?
It would have been 20. So I should have gone.
What?
Yeah,
You could have gone
yeah. Okay, I misunderstood that entirely.
I didn't explain the rules properly.
No, I didn't. No.
Because I really want you to like.
Yes.
I think.
Sure. Let's do it again. Sorry. So I roll this d6 and I add this new number to my existing dexterity score. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
And you write down that number. Okay, I do it again.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Cool. I bid 5.
And how does it look like when you're trying to get away from the hamster?
I think it is like swinging the sword back, like kind of like in a wide arc.
And I say, what did you bet? 5?
Mm-hmm.
I say 6. So the hamster ducks under your sword and tries to grab your ankles.
Cool. I bid 9 as Hamish stands on its head instead. Like stamps on its feet and its hand as it comes towards it.
All right, do it.
Cool. So roll a d20. Yes, I got it because I had a 18.
Nice.
So, cool. Yeah. Get off! Kicks it as he runs past. Cool.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
you hear the squeaking of the hamster as you stepped on his hands, and then you get out, and Aina screamed, "Duck!"
Hey, diving on the ground, like skidding behind this whatever sandbag or whatever. There's a box.
What do you think? Would it make sense to roll whether the hamsters get out before Aina shoots, or is this like an obvious thing and it's just damage? I mean, they were really quick behind your heels, on your heels.
It just means they're at point blank range when she does open fire.
Yeah, that is true. I want there be to like just an element of randomness, I guess.
She might not kill all of them.
That is true. So yeah, we see Aina unloading the Gatling gun, and let's see how much damage. How much damage does the gun do? It was also something crazy like 3d6, I think. Did you write this down on the character sheet? Let's see. Didn't. Let's check. It is
2d12.
2d12.
Yeah, it's written in the Return to Behemoth Shell section of its notes.
So 2d12, submit, and that is a 13. So definitely the injured one is dead. But the other ones, they are heavily injured but still standing. So the situation is as follows. The first one is just he's completely shredded, and the other ones they're heavily bleeding, and they're stumbling in the light, obviously unable to see properly, willing to turn around and get back into the cave. So what do you do?
Shoot them.
Mm-hmm. And I think because they are at disadvantage because they can't see, they're also turning around to flee. I give you a bonus of +4.
Do you guys want to unload since you're both holding ranged weapons to begin with?
Indeed. These hamsters are really annoying. I want them gone. Christ, they didn't even ask us if we were friendly. What jerks. Alrighty. So D20.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you can either add 4 to your AV or yeah, well, it makes sense to or does it make sense? It doesn't really matter. You add to your AV, probably. Add 4.
So okay, so add 4 to AV.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to roll under 15. Got it.
But over 4.
Hamish will, yell out more swears at the as the gunfire rattles down. And reduce their AV by reduce their hit armor by 1. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so under 15 over 3, or 15 or under and over 3.
And yes.
Okay.
That is doable.
Apparently not. I rolled an 18.
So I think that one just slips into the cave and dodges your blow. What about Azure?
Well, I mean, I'd already switched over to my Morning Star, so are they close enough where I can crush somebody's skull or no?
Yeah, you can try to hit, because they turn around, which takes a time, and then they move inside the cave. So I think you can jump forward and whack them over the head.
But I'm sorry, but was I supposed to do a con roll to see if I got away with them first, or we just started?
No, that was like Hamish was sort of leading the whole thing.
All right, so I'm going to take a swing with my mighty Morning Star.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 3.
So it's like a glancing blow. You hit. It's almost as if your mace bounces back on their like hardened skin, and the other one slips into the cave as well. And then
so do I do damage? I do D6, right?
Well, you hit their AC.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
So the Gatling gun is still turning and like spinning, and there's like smoke coming out. Azure is really injured, and everybody is panting and wow.
Do we have? Do any of our porters or retainers have ranged weapons that they can use on these hamsters? I thought you said somebody had a crossbow.
Yes. So Katyusha has the bolter.
Okay.
And Twet has a musket, and I mean Aina has the crossbow, but she obviously is behind the Gatling gun.
So you got a bolt thrower, and I thought both of the great folk had muskets.
No, the other one has a spear.
Okay. Can they use the spear and throw it as a ranged weapon?
Actually, they can use it as a ranged weapon. So why don't you roll for 10 with a spear, and I roll for Twet, and maybe Azure. Do you want to roll for Katyusha?
Sure.
Katyusha has 12, AV 12, and the two great folks have 11.
I rolled an 11.
Perfect.
All right, and I am rolling.
If
That's
you roll,
15.
that's well, plus the AV, you all hit. Let me roll as well.
That's right, because we're getting +4.
Yeah, exactly. You get the bonus, and I rolled a 7, which is also a hit. So the spear does D6, and the musket does D6 plus 2, and I roll a D10 for the bolter. That is a 5. They're still standing. One of them is still standing.
These fucking hamsters.
Incredible. I mean, I rolled really high on the. So let me make the damage roll. This is a 4, and D6 plus 2. Oh wow. So Twet actually unloads the musket and shoots one of the fleeting hamsters in the back, and he falls down face first. The other one
Is it
slips-
dead?
Looks dead. The other one slips into the darkness, though.
Uh,
I don't like
Fro-
looks dead. Let's put a few rounds into it just to make sure.
yeah, fire another bolt into it. You see healing lotion. Is that something that Azure D can use now to heal?
Yeah, definitely.
I will throw a healing lotion to Azure D. Get yourself patched up.
I'll heal myself up. What do I do? Does it give me a roll or something?
It
or does just
restores
give me a whole-
2d6 life, so
Okay, one moment, please. $10. It's more than I
Nice.
need, so I'm back up to
Your
8,
maximum.
I think, was my...
Yeah.
all right. And then
Cool.
Hamish, were you hurt?
No. Should we? I think that we should run after them. There's only one left.
We want to kill this thing now.
Yeah.
We
So
don't want it healing.
let's we run on probably with D. Probably is at the back just because of applying that lotion, the fixing herself up. Hireling, yeah.
Do we have any hirelings that are wounded?
Start peppering them with grenades.
Well,
yeah.
Katyusha is wounded. But not.
Katyusha has 1 HP down out of the 4, so she's on 3 HP.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's not getting a healing lotion.
Fellow Yellowlander, just
Yeah.
saying.
This is something I'm thinking about because there are not many of us left.
You can just tell her to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her to stay back.
Okay.
Like, because she has a bolt thrower, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, she can stay at range.
Okay.
Keep her out of melee range.
I'm imagining us all running down after this thing, like with our guns, like running after, like hunting it down in the cave before it gets further away.
Probably cursing at it.
Yeah. So like, Katyusha can be like with D, like helping her down the corridor with the healing lotion and stuff. With the great folks, with his musket, the guy's already killed one. Obviously, like strides off confidently down the corridor, like, yeah, I can do this.
I'm assuming that the great folk who threw the spear retrieved it from the corpse of the hamster. Okay.
So if you wanted to be on the hamster's heel, you wouldn't throw the UV healing potion and so forth.
Well,
like-
Well, it's
other people will be. Whoever
Dean
has
and
to be, not
Katyusha
me.
can be doing healing while
Yeah.
Hamish and I pursue.
Okay, that is cool.
With the great.
So then you
Um,
can still see them like at the end of the tunnel when you enter it. Otherwise, you would have to look for the blood trail or whatever. So I guess when you enter the cavern, you can see that they're trying to dive into the ferns to duck out of the way, and you get at least one shot.
I
And I
yell at
assume-
the ferns to move.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, make a charisma save, and I will give you an advantage because the hamsters are not well loved, and you made a couple of friends.
Okay, so I'm rolling with 2d20.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that. The charisma score is not my. I just need to delete selected. Okay. 2d20. Cross your fingers. Got a 1.
Nice. It's the lowest of possible successful result, but it is successful. So yeah, the hamster ducks
I thought one was
down.
a critical success.
No, a critical success is if you roll your score exactly. That is
Okay.
critical.
Okay.
So the hamster, it's like if you're in a rock concert and somebody tries to stage dive and everybody moves aside. That's how it looks like.
Yeah, and they face plant right on the floor.
He's trying to scramble up and turns around and looks into the barrel of, I don't know, what do you have? The shotgun is a bit far away, I have to say.
Well,
But you can tell, I mean, you can tell me that you changed your weapons like while you were running down the tunnel.
Yeah, I've got my plasma sniper rifle.
Nice. Which you are also attuned to?
I am currently attuned to Ajax.
Okay, but you're still you're not attuned. You don't get the like incredibly.
I can't just say it happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you can still.
All right,
shoot
so
it.
we're still rolling with advantage because of the injuries.
We're
not rolling with advantage, but we still get that +4 to AV.
The +4 was because they were turning around and it was in the light.
Okay.
So I would say that is just a regular roll.
Okay. 1d20 then.
Sorry, I'm not muted. You guys can hear all the cars in the background. Sorry about that.
I am just going to cuss and swear and mute my mic because that's a 19.
Yeah, I don't think like it was a perfect shot. I think he just jumped at the right moment. And Hamish, do you have a weapon?
Yeah, I got these lovely grenades. And he has, luckily told those phones to get out of the way, which wasn't one of Hamish's concerns. But, now there's a chance they won't be blown up.
Awesome.
So what would that be?
Also, under your AV.
Cool. That's a 7. It is under my AV, and
Nice.
it's above their AC, I believe. So
Yes, roll 3d6.
3d6.
That should even kill that sturdy motherfucker.
Yeah, that is 12 points of damage. So,
So describe how, like the bone grenade explodes and he dies. Like, how does he die?
well, I think he dives out of the way of Nida's, like plasma bolt, and rolls to his feet, and he's just running forward when a grenade just like drops perfectly, like right in front of him, and then just goes boom, and then the whole cave just fills with like rubble and smoke for a second, and as it clears, it's just quiet. Like, gotcha, you bastard.
Rubble, smoke, and minced hamster.
Yeah, and it's also like these bone grenades, they just spread these bone splinters, and it's this horrible sound as if bones are breaking. And the hamster looks really minced. So I'm making a luck roll, and on a 1 or 2, you're unlucky, and one of the crates gets destroyed. But it doesn't. All right. So the smoke is what's it called? The dust is settling.
Yeah.
And in the light of your flashlights and torches, you can see the ferns moving back into place. Still making still trying to avoid the hamster.
I reach down and pet one of the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And then yell back down the hallway, make sure that other one's dead. Really dead.
Yeah, you hear another popping of the bolter. All right, so what's your focus now? Getting out, telling the porters to get the crates out? Do you help with the crates? Do you investigate further into the dungeon?
I am helping with the crates at this point because I have my mind on the loot, and these hamsters have really annoyed me. And it's a bad idea to go further into a facility like this when you're
You
not emotionally stable.
Do you want to just grab all the loot that we have up here? And
I'm thinking we grab all the loot we have here and then we venture further in. See what happens.
I think I feel like if we're going to venture further in, we should seize the momentum. You know, they came at us, we destroyed them, and if we wait, they're just going to have a chance to regroup. Yeah.
We have 2 cases of grenades. I suggest we just move forward, throw a grenade, move forward, throw a grenade, forward, throw a grenade, till the box is empty and a lot of shit.
I have to say, Azure makes a really, really good point here. Also, when we get back to the behemoth shell, we're buying more crates of these things. I love these things. They are fantastic.
They are pretty good.
I mean, it's like all we had to do was chuck them at the hamsters and we would have been good. But no, we had to be fancy and try to use our weapons and our melee skills. We should have just blown them up. It's science. Everything explodes. Why didn't we think of this first?
You were thinking about the crates, I think.
Careful with the crates.
At this point, it's personal. I think we should just exterminate everything and see if we can put Johnny back into that machine if we don't blow it up.
So there are 2 ways you could go. If you ignore the crates for now, maybe tell the porters to carry them out.
Oh, the porters go down.
Yeah, you could go down the staircase, which is where Ajax came from, telling about these rats, and you would assume that either the rats and the hamsters are in some kind of cahoot, or the dungeon is just deeper and bigger than you thought. And then there's the tunnel with the heat wave that leads to the east. So which way do you want to go?
Grenades in the tunnel with the heat wave.
Blow the heat wave. Yeah, we can do that. Sure.
We crawl underneath the heat wave, get up close, let it fire, chuck some grenades in there, see what happens. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, we got 15 seconds to line a shot up.
I mean, at this point, I am in full agreement.
Cool.
So there was no heat ray coming out of the tunnel during the fight for whatever reasons. But you can definitely chuck a couple of grenades inside to let them roll down the tunnel if you want to. And I think we don't really need to roll whether or not the nodule is destroyed. It's more how much of the tunnel is left after that. Like how many grenades do you want to chuck at the thing?
Just the one, I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm thinking just one at a time. Like,
Yeah.
If it takes out the heat waves, then we're good.
Mm-hmm. So everything in Ultraviolet Grasslands has a level, and so the Johnny 7 had a level of 10, for example, and that is calculated in hit dice. So I just rolled the hit dice, hit dice for or the hit points, the structural points of this thing. So just see if it is enough to blow it up. So 3d6.
Puckett, you seem to have crates of grenades strapped to your back.
Oh no, the crates are on the auto wagon. I'm just resupplying every time we go back, which actually I haven't needed to do because I haven't thrown any yet. So sure, I'll chuck a grenade. And that is 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think I'm making like a clock for the structural damage to the tunnel. Let's do it.
I'm going to clear the dice because this stuff gets weird. So 3d6.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 11.
Okay. I tick one of the boxes. How do you do that?
How many? So you only want like a 4-part clock, or do you want a 6-part clock, or?
Yeah, a 4-part clock, and I have made a clock. But how do you add? Oh, okay. Add one. And there's like smoke coming out of the nodule, but you're not sure if it's like destroyed.
Well, let's wait a few seconds and see if it fires.
And
we're obviously going to clear back from the tunnel, so we're
obviously, yeah. And like a clockwork, 30 seconds later, there's this ray shooting out, and the ferns are moving away from it.
Motherfucker.
Another grenade.
All right. If at first it doesn't stop, explode again.
Mm-hmm.
I will chuck another grenade down the tunnel.
Yes.
So there's another 3d6. And that's an 8.
There's a small explosion after the actual explosion of the bone thing. And if you wait 30 seconds, nothing happens.
Let's wait a few more seconds.
And wait another 30.
Yeah. We wait another minute and nothing happens. And Berto, you're up again, pal. I heard you were the best.
Just stay low.
Okay. Umberto, emboldened by the victory over the hamsters, crawls inside the tunnel. And you wait. And he's at from the end of the tunnel, he says, "There's a T-juncture. Which way should I go?"
Should we move up behind him, guys? Like into this T-junction? Or should we just direct him by like left, right?
I'm thinking should go in the direction of coffee, not tea.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Hamish, what do you think? Do you want to go in the tunnel after him?
Yeah, I think we should. If we're going to go this way, let's go this way.
All right.
We'll leave Katusha guarding this end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
With the Gatling gun and the porters, and we'll go up.
Well, the porters are still like carrying crates. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
do you
want the security team?
Do you want them to carry the Gatling gun inside of the cave now?
A bit further in, so that they've got a really good,
Okay,
like,
so
they
that
can
they can see. Okay,
So they can
see.
cover the stairwell in case anything comes up.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So you inside of the tunnel there is this rather like it smells a bit like patchouli, I think, but also like wet dog. And from the junction, the smell, the dog smell is a bit stronger to the right.
Throw a grenade to the right.
Hey, if that's what Azadi does, I'm totally fine with that being an action that happens.
Let's hold off on throwing grenades until we know there's something to throw a grenade at, because we might find something valuable. I mean, I do like these grenades, but let's make sure we're not blowing up stuff that we can use, stuff we can sell.
Oh yeah, I did promise APOC I'd find another one of those things I broke. He'd be really pissed off if I broke another one.
Right?
Abe, have you seen the clock that I made that says tunnel collapses? On the roll for your party, just saying.
No, I was not aware of that. Sorry.
I'm not saying you shouldn't throw grenades. I think throwing grenades is a good idea in general.
Where is it?
It's on the roll for your party.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I see a bunch of 12-sided and 7 and 20-sided. But where's the clock?
Oh, yours hasn't refreshed. All of it has been cleared. There's only 3d6 and a clock on.
Oh, I see. So we've got two more dings on the clock, and then we're done, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The roof is creaking ominously above us as we.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, okay. I take it back. Sorry, I was not aware of that.
So,
scour out the dog area. Should we look at that? We chose wet dog over patchouli, it seems.
I'm going to ready my shotgun again real quick. We might all want to ready whatever weapon we feel like is going to be most necessary or useful.
Yeah.
So.
And Umberto is crawling in the front, and the tunnel makes a turn to the left, but he freezes where he is, and he says, "There's a tunnel leading down, like a shaft." He says, "There's a shaft leading down."
Toss him a rope.
And then there's also a tunnel going left. So who's holding the rope?
I'll hold the rope.
Mm-hmm. And he climbs down. And you can see the torchlight. There's obviously smoke coming. I think he probably extinguished his torch, given that this is a very, very small crawl space.
I'll pass him my ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a drop of maybe, I don't know, it's not really deep. It's 10 feet or something, maybe 15 feet.
That's from the end of the shaft to the floor below?
That is
the shaft.
It's the top of the shaft to the floor below. It's 15 feet. And he says, I don't know, it looks like, I don't know, maybe a diesel engine or something.
Tie the rope around it. No, tie the rope around it. We'll haul it out. Then never mind a diesel engine. No. Well, we'll haul him back up and continue on the other way, I guess.
Yeah, and so
are there, real quick before we haul him back up? Are there any exits from that room with the diesel engine?
There's no. Yeah, there is an exit to the south.
Oh,
it's a door.
Well, through the door.
And so that's quiet for a couple of moments. I think this is a good, like the ominous silence of Umberto not coming back is a good way to take our last break.
Sure.
Okay.
10 minutes maybe to the hour. Get
Sure.
myself a new drink.
And
Yeah.
we're still finishing up in about half an hour after that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
See you in a
Awesome.
bit.
Puckett, we do have to give you still the money for the stories.
We were going to do that when we got to the satrap. Wasn't that correct?
Yes.
That's like the next city.
Yeah, it's it's behind the. If you look at the map, which I can share. Let's see.
Because I still have more stuff to write up. I mean, these cannibal hamsters are horrifying.
Yeah. So there's the moon-facing fort. There's the near moon, and then there's the spectrum run. And there's where they can cable the money.
Sure. So, yeah, what I was planning on doing was writing up some more of these things over the course of the next week, sending them over. We can deal with that at the because I mean, I have a feeling we're not going to make it back to the behemoth shell today. Not with half an hour.
Depends on how thorough you want to search the caves.
Well, you know, that's partly Will and an Abe question. So,
I mean, it's also the longer you look for something, the more valuable things you will find. Obviously,
yeah.
It's always, you know, what are you willing to risk versus what is the reward.
Let's go further though. Do you know?
Okay, so Umberto. Let's see. So in the 5 minutes where you don't hear from Umberto, you do hear a little bit of like what's it called? Like a whiny, doggy, whistly voice from the east. So there was the tunnel. There was the shaft, and then the tunnel makes a turn to the left, and from there the noises come. Maybe like 2 or 3 individuals.
Ajax, is there any chance you could check out that noise while we sit here and wait for Umberto?
Man, the stink. You want me to go further?
Look, it's awful. I know. Fish when you get back to the behemoth shell?
Is that your ask your pet if he smells the same thing earlier as he smelled before?
Ajax is not my pet. Ajax and I are traveling companions. This is a relationship of equals. Ajax may actually be smarter than me, so it may be unequal in that respect. But Ajax is not a pet.
Damn right.
I look at Ajax and I say, "Can you get your pet to ask you to repeat it as though he's asking the real master here to you know."
And then Ajax says, "Tell the bearded one that we have a poker game going on later on, and I will strip him naked."
Hamish, it sounds as though
anyway,
the cat wants to seduce you. He said he's going to strip you naked.
All right, nice.
Anyway, so Ajax says the smell from the rats was different.
So this is not rats. Is there any chance
Oh
you
man,
can go look and tell us what it is?
Well, Umberto, we're paying you double the rate that you normally get to come with us. So far, it's been a fucking cakewalk. So I suggest you get your ass down there now. Keep it moving.
They are talking.
Umberto's already down the shaft, and he's being quiet. This is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It is an absurd situation because they're both talking to a cat, and the cat is meowing in return. But for some reason, neither seems to understand everything perfectly. And you see the cat like in this, very elegant, one paw always touches the ground where the first paw touched it. She moves further down the tunnel. And then you hear Umberto from down the shaft, and he shouts up, "Well, it seems that the door eventually leads outside. There was some crap that I had to cut. But you have a nice view, tell you that."
Anything useful down there? Valuable?
I mean, if somebody could disassemble the machine parts, maybe.
So it's pretty much just a way out of the cave to a great extent with this junked old engine, which is probably not worth much. Not when we've got all that biomancy gear going into our truck as we speak.
We do have a whole lot of storage. I mean, do you want to take a look at it? I mean, remember how much that kitchen stuff that we looted from the Porcelain Princes was worth?
I just feel like there may be more exciting stuff further into the mystery, like into the labyrinth.
I don't know about you, but I've had quite enough excitement. Boring sounds good right about now.
We haven't even found Apoc, that thing I promised him.
Look, who knows where you're going to find that thing that you promised Apoc? I mean, you did kick that crate down the hill, which is part of the problem.
I found one before, didn't I? I can find one again. Just stands to reason. That's science, that is.
Hamish, I believe you meant to say that you broke one before, and you feel guilty about it.
All right. Anyways, I mean, we've come this far just to go back now.
I'm not talking about going back. I'm just saying there might be something useful in there that we could get.
Oh, it's the engine, though, isn't it? It's just an engine. Old, crappy engine, isn't it? Into Umberto.
You see, Hamish, the more you say just an engine, the more I want to check it out.
I guess Nida raffles down to check out the engine.
I do want to check out the engine. So what am I saying with this thing?
So if you rappel down, you can see that it seems to be like the engine room of a big factory. So it's like a machine room. So the diesel machine is actually pretty massive, and there are all kinds of tubes and cables disappearing into the walls. So you would assume that this is, if you wanted to get the factory running again, you would have to
not disassemble the engine.
Yes, not disassemble the engine. If you want to get the whole thing out of the cave, which would be possible through the door that leads outside, maybe with some kind of crane or something.
Mm-hmm.
You would assume that it fetches a nice price.
Okay.
But it's really, really big and heavy.
We can always, it won't be as much money, but we can always, if we clear more of this place, we can sell knowledge of this place to people, perhaps. Like there is all of this valuable shit here, but we just didn't have the equipment to bring it out. But we did clear out the cannibal rats that live there. And
I yell up the shaft. If this is the power supply, this looks like an autofac.
Well, you can carry it then, Nida. I mean, geez.
No, not that. Johnny 7.
All right.
If we can get this thing up and running for him, who knows what he can make?
We could plug him in here, maybe.
Right? All right, coming back up. And I climb back up the rope.
Mm-hmm.
I yell down the shaft. Umberto, come on. We're moving on.
So our plan might be
after some awkward... So you need to maneuver yourself in a way that Umberto is in the lead again, is when Ajax comes back. And he says, in your mind. So there's some strange cyber prairie dogs down there. they seem to be chill, I guess. There's a couple of crates of stuff and what looks like maybe Prairie dog processing production unit, I wanna say.
Ajax, can you communicate with those prairie dogs, or can you telepathically help me communicate with those prairie dogs?
I wouldn't even know where to start. I can try. A couple of them seem to have 2 brains, so maybe they have half a cat brain.
A 2-brained prairie dog, that's unusual. All right. Is it something you can drive from here, or do we need to get closer?
You know the whole cats and dogs thing?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm the best, diplomat. I hate the guts of dogs. I'm not gonna lie.
All I'm saying is, can you make it so that I can communicate with them? So can you, just as an intermediary, if you can connect me telepathically, or just relay what I'm saying to them without doing anything else?
All right then. That is that really all covered by one fish? Is all I'm saying.
Oh, Ajax, when do I not give you the best fish?
Tonight, I want to walk down, one of these winding ass tunnels in the behemoth shell with the biggest fucking fish in my mouth.
I think we can get you a fish big enough that you can't carry it because you'd be carrying your own body weight in your mouth. How does that sound?
I want to carry it though.
Okay, so we obviously can't get you the biggest fish, but we can get you a big one.
All right, then we need to get closer. And
right.
So you walk around the corner, and it is almost striking how similar the tunnel, which seems to be, I don't know. The tunnel you're walking through is probably something like a maintenance tunnel because it's too small to really function as a way to get from one place to the other. But it is striking how much the big hall that you're entering resembles Johnny Seven's production floor, including, well, it is less organic, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but there's what's it called? All kinds of production floor things and machine units. They are half assembled. There was this birthing tunnel where Johnny Seven made the chairs,
Mm-hmm.
and that looks obviously more machine-like. And there are these cybernetic parts hanging from hooks. They are like metal limbs, and there's definitely like a crate with what looks like crystals, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another door that is open that leads deeper into the machinery, and then there are smaller tunnels that have been like where the metal plates are removed from the wall, and they seem to be like of a warren or something, like a dog. What is it called? Like where dogs make their nests. I'm not sure if dogs make nests, but it has a much more organic look to it. And from one of these tunnels, you can see a cybernetic Prairie dog, which has he has this red glowing eyes. And I'm asking you, Abe, what other biomechanical enhancement does the Prairie dog that looks at you have?
Let's see. I would say that I would say that its tail is sort of like cataracts, where it's
Mhm.
like it's like but it's a big electric plug, like like the kind that you plug in like dishwashers and washing machines.
Cool.
Um,
Nice.
and it looks like it's it's sort of segmented.
Mhm.
I would also say that how Saint Bernards have the collar with the booze in it.
Mhm.
It's got like a big battery underneath its strapped around its neck. Maybe it's not a battery, but it sure looks like one from here. And then
Cool.
it's got a little LED on it with that's all green. It's got like 5
Mhm.
bars or something, and it's all all 5 of them are green. I would say that if you could see its
There's a
teeth,
second one. Like there's a second one moving out of this small space, and maybe you can describe them with
there's
the teeth.
another prairie dog coming out of that space as
Yes,
well.
and the other prairie dog has it has like a globe, like a half globe on his head, and you can see 2 like brains inside the glass globe.
So it's
But
got
what-
a regular head, and there's 2 brains floating around in a globe of it.
Yes.
All right, so there's like these big tubes that are coming from it that are pumping glowing green fluid into
Mhm.
into the globe, and then it's like all the brains are floating in that kind of green glowing liquid. And
Awesome. You were saying something about.
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You said something about teeth.
Oh yeah, and their teeth, like you can see their teeth. You can see like their canines, and they're long.
Mhm.
They're like long hypodermic needles. They're not teeth.
Awesome. And so they growl, both of them, and Ajax says, "Well, they literally said, get the fuck out of here."
Okay. Tell them we have an autofac AI that we can put in this facility.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Ooh, we could make more of them. Aye, they can.
We're bringing something valuable that can help them.
And they, growl a little bit more, and Ajax translates and says, "Well, the only thing they need is fuel, because producing cybernetic prairie dogs is what this artifact already does."
Yeah, well, we can give them fuel.
We've
Sure.
got supplies back on the truck.
Aye. Promising plenty of fuel.
Let's see. I think with a fuel, let's do a charisma check to see how malleable they are.
Alrighty. Azure has the highest charisma. Well, APOC has the highest charisma, but APOC's not here right now. So.
Yeah.
I
mean, you can look around while Ajax is translating. So
do we see
most
anything valuable or worth taking in here?
well, yeah. Well, there's definitely like this crate with what looks like marbles or crystals. Then there's another table with one of these double-brained globes. And then there are these cybernetic legs or whatever they are, cybernetic limbs, let's call them, that hang from the hooks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ones that you can just grab and take away.
I feel like we're halfway to Deus Ex at the moment.
Yeah. I could definitely see one of us gaining a bionic arm out of this, perhaps. But should we do that charisma roll, I suppose, for?
I mean, if we wait for Azure, we've got a 55% chance.
Yeah, that's true. Let's wait for Azure. I definitely want all of
I have a
these things in
charisma
the
of
frame.
11, if that helps.
That's better than the rest us.
Well, we were
Yeah.
talking about this. You give us a 55% chance as opposed to my 45 or Hamish's 50.
Yeah.
Got it. Sorry, I had to run out and feed and water my child. So roll 11 or under on a d20. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Yes. And actually, roll charisma twice. Roll d20 twice because you offered them.
I think you froze up, Horst.
Yeah.
It is
You're
what
robotic.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He said you can roll twice because you've been we offered fuel.
Yeah, I rolled 2 and a 14.
Nice.
Awesome. So, then Ajax says, they ask, what do you want?
To go these things, this stuff in this room, and what else is down here? What's further down?
So one of the dogs says, the one with the big brain, with the double brain, says, you can talk to the autofac if you restart the motor if you want to. I'm not sure if he would be happy if you steal the stuff.
But we don't want to steal anything.
Trade it.
Yeah, we
bring you fuel. We get rid of this stuff that's just hanging around.
we didn't know that. We've been trying to talk to or communicate with everything down here, and well, besides the ferns upstairs, you're the first beings down here that have actually been willing to communicate with us.
Well, I can tell you something is what Ajax translates. The rats, they don't stop talking.
We heard them. Didn't see them, heard them.
Which way are the rats?
Down the stairs.
Okay.
You would want to avoid the hamsters though.
Yeah, we met them. Are there more?
Well, they're all over the mines, and whatever they found in the mines, it fucked them up.
Wow.
Do we want to turn this factory on, or do we want to just take this stuff and go?
Oh, we want to turn the factory on. Are you kidding me?
Got to turn the factory.
Yeah, we're making a deal here. We need to hold up our end of it. We offered fuel. We need to fuel it up so the factory can get started again, and then talk to the autofac.
So we do that. Right. We'll go and bring fuel back from our wagon and come back in and try and turn on the factory, I guess. But we will.
So
we will, I think, take some of that stuff. Why make two trips, right? We'll take some of that stuff from the thing as we go back to get fuel.
I think what you reasonably could carry is definitely the big crate with the crystals, and then the brain, and maybe one of the limbs. And you can choose. I mean, there are different types. There's like more dog types. There's like a tentacled one, similar to what Abe described as the tail of one of them. And they all have like sockets that you can attach to, a robot.
I'm going to be a stick in the mud for a second and say, and just point out, what if the autofac can make us something more valuable than these raw materials once we turn it on? And if we take these raw materials, they won't be down here, and we won't be able to get that item.
All right. Naida, you make a good point. I mean, I don't know. This looks like a lot. He puts it back, but he does take a handful of the crystals surreptitiously.
I roll my eyes at Hamish.
I think he does it without you seeing. You know, it's very makes a big show and dance of it, and then slips it into his back pocket.
So can we just kind of fast forward through going
Yeah.
back, getting the fuel, fueling up the diesel engine, coming back to the auto?
Yes.
Okay.
So you do that. You put fuel into the diesel engine. You find the mainframe, which is on the, where it smelled less like wet dog. And in the mainframe, again, it looks a bit like socialist technology from the 80s. It looks like the window screen of a gigantic truck or something, but it is obscured by some plants that grow down there. And Azure can definitely see, where the mainframe, like where the core of the artifact is. And I mean, you can switch the machine on and then remove the motherboard, so to speak, or you can remove the motherboard first and try to put Saffron / Johnny 7 in there.
Should we do that? That sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, but are the prairie dogs going to do anything about that? Are they going to get mad?
Well, who knows?
Do they even
I
know
don't
what
even
they're
know.
doing?
You know?
No, the prairie dogs are not with you at the moment. You're alone in the mainframe.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, hell yeah, let's try that.
All right. Given that we have another 5 minutes, is this maybe a good cliffhanger? So you put the crystal snail. I assume that cataract will function as some kind of connection between the crystal and
Yep.
the mainframe. So
Yep.
the whole personality of Saffron / Johnny 7 runs through cataract.
Does Cataract have his mouth open with the snail in it, and then he's got a cable running out of his head into the factory?
His tail's a USB cable, so that's how he plugs into things. But yes,
Yeah.
he could totally be have the snail in his mouth.
And then somebody switches the machine on, and everything is humming.